how can we take this site and make it into video? So whether it's blog posts, we're seeing a huge trend with that. Everybody taking their already existing content that they spent so much time and money writing for SEO purposes, which is great. But now it's great to now put that in the video form.
Welcome to the My Future Business Show, where we get you in front of your best audience and keep you there. Not only are we interviewing the biggest names in business to help you become even more successful, we're inviting you to book your spot on the show to help you grow your business. So at the end of the call, make sure you fill in the interview application form at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. Hi, it's Rick Nuske and welcome to today's episode of the My Future Business Show. I'm here with a couple of gentlemen who are from viralideasmarketing.com. I have David Feinman and I have Zach Medina. How are you guys?
We are doing wonderful. Thanks so much for having us on the show. We're calling in from beautiful, sunny Philadelphia.
You're lying. I know you're lying. Like I was saying,
it's really sunny in Philadelphia. So,
like I was saying, it's also gone from beautiful one day to absolutely rubbish weather here today. So it's swings and roundabouts. Good old weather, and it never fails to surprise, does it?
That is true.
So with you guys, what's going on in your private lives? Because I'd love to just learn a little bit about the individuals before we deep dive into the nuts and bolts of business. What do you guys do when you're not working? Do you have time off away from working?
I was gonna say, wait a minute, what is that? No, in all seriousness, Dave and I started Viral Ideas specifically in 2015. So we've been going strong for about 2.5, almost 3 years now. Mm-hmm. And I would say we very rarely take breaks. Very rarely. And that's being straight up honest. We work on Saturday nights, Sundays, whenever we can.
Well, I think that's part of the grind, isn't it, early on? Because at the end of the day, My Future Business is about helping beginner entrepreneurs and existing small to medium business owners actually understand what it really takes to start a business. And we also obviously are going to cross over into your specialty, which is online viral video marketing a bit later on. So before I do that, tell us a little bit about the grind. What actually happens in real life?
So the first year of the business, we actually started the business with only $250, one client, and just this concept of trying to make the video creation process simpler. So for us, that first year, it was all about getting clients, getting people to use our services. So for that first year, Zach was more on the production side, I was more on the sales side. So I made about 2,000 phone calls, cold calls to different business areas, set up a meeting, started to work the whole sales thing. So we really kind of, like you said, giving business owners that expectation of what the grind actually looks like. It's a very real thing in the first 3 years of business, and there's not much time off if you're really putting everything into it.
Do you often wonder, what am I doing?
I would say in terms of what are we doing, or we look at it more as we enjoy the process at which it's done. By default, I would say Dave and I are relatively happy guys. So we really enjoy, of course, there's going to be high highs, there's going to be low lows, but we really enjoy the overall process of building a business. And we know the undertaking that it's all about. Obviously, some days are harder than others, but you just got to keep your head up and keep grinding.
Yeah, well, because there's some brutal honesty behind all of this, isn't there? And at the end of the day, life is full of experiences, and that's, if we don't have experiences in life, what do we really have? So it's a credit to you for bringing your business as far forward as you have in such a short amount of time. I'm looking at your viralideasmarketing.com website at the moment. It's fantastic. It already gives me that punch straight away. As soon as I land on it, I'm like, wow, this is different. This is not the mainstream website that you normally see. How did that all come about together? Was it very difficult to make the decision to put video up, given the sometimes people's internet speed in one place is not as good as others? Does it work seamlessly wherever you are?
So I'm going to credit our website company.
Do a little shout out.
We'll give a little shout out to our website company, 215 guys. They're awesome. Fantastic. Awesome group of guys. Philly-based. They built some websites for Shark Tank companies. So fortunately, we work with a partner that gets our videos that are awesome, amazing, that we create, and puts them on a site that works well. But for us, the site had to be video. And a lot of our client sites, we see them moving towards video too. So worrying about like the load up speeds and stuff like that, yes, it's maybe a little bit of a technical challenge, but for us, it's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
When we're we're getting, compared to people that don't have video, we're getting sometimes triple the average, time on pages.
Mm-hmm.
You see people spending a lot of time on our site, and given that most of the site's content is video, one could assume that they're watching a lot of video on the site.
Absolutely. Page views is one thing, but 1 second page views is another, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not online nowadays, where are you? Is essentially what I always come back to, and I think to myself, I'm looking at this. I'm going to use it as a bit of a centerpiece for the call, and it's already telling me a story in such a short amount of time. How is it that you storyboard somebody when they have absolutely no experience in video and frankly are quite scared of it?
So we focus on the reality of what their business is.
Mm-hmm.
So our big thing, at Viral is create to inspire, helping your company discover its why.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're working with a company and we're trying to describe a given situation, we're trying to discover, why is an individual doing something, or why is a company doing something? Why would someone want to buy this? More so than the face value of what it is. And once you have that conversation, different stories underneath it start to come to life.
Yeah, I'm looking at your early background where you started off on Facebook. If I recall, not that long ago, Facebook really wasn't focused all that much on video, was it? And things seems to have changed in such a short amount of time. And this is obviously a global trend that we're seeing with video marketing.
Yeah, Facebook's definitely been a great proponent for video lately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen it, but they just recently put in, I want to say about a year ago, maybe a little bit less. It's called the Facebook Watch button, and it's actually located on your app. And what that's doing is really they're going head to head with Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're morphing into the days of, we're not just watching these short 3-second, 6-second videos on Facebook. We're actually spending time on Facebook consuming content beyond just a short little video. We're consuming episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting to see that trend of companies and Facebook really making episodes instead of just short form content.
Yeah, and that's great feedback. I also think about the likes of audio and video podcasting, a significant shift away from traditional media sources. The days of old. I don't even remember the last time I switched on a smart TV, to be quite frank with you. and when I did, it's because my kids wanted to watch YouTube or Netflix or something like that through the Xbox. What are you seeing there? How do you sort of try to explain that part to folks that are maybe a little bit older? How do you help them along?
So it's really a shift in area of consumption. People have always consumed media, right, in some form. So whether newspapers, whether they went to, I remember my grandparents talking about, and maybe I'm making myself seem a little young, but my grandparents talking about going to the movie theater, and that's where they consumed all of their media, right? They would go to they would go there and they'd see the news and they'd see updates through the movie theater, and really we've just progressed to having to go somewhere to having it in our pocket. And when you open up Facebook, when you open up YouTube, when you open up the CNN app, whatever medium you're consuming, you're able to consume all your media within one centralized device.
Yep.
And you don't have to anymore on a smart TV. Although I will say, for the people that do watch stuff on a television, it does look a lot better, despite the fact that we want to all go mobile. If you watch Netflix on your phone versus watching it on TV, there literally is no comparison. It looks way better.
Absolutely.
So, for all the people that are in my age group that still watch their stuff on their computer on the phone, I really don't even understand it. I'm sitting in the room. There's like a beautiful, television on the other side. I'm like, I don't know why anyone would want to watch on their phone if that happened. But that all said, I mean, it's really all about the phone and kind of having that option available to you, and and for companies to be able to deliver their message through that as well. It's kind of where we see the future going.
And it's highly relevant, because at the end of the day, I often give my kids the phone as we're traveling along. We went for his birthday recently, and this is just how valuable my mobile devices become to me. I dropped it. It's a brand new S9, and I smashed it to bits. The screens don't bounce all that well, so it's
You don't have OtterBox or a protected case on your phone?
I had a bloody flip cover case on it, and it caught my jeans as I was putting it in my pocket, and it flipped out, and I'm like, oh no! One of the perils of mobile devices. So I'd love to talk a little little bit more about the process behind once you've established a relationship with a client, a new client? What is it that, let's just use me as an example. I'm an audio podcaster and I actually want to go to the video streaming sort of deal with this. What process would you take me through?
Great question. So we at Viral, we know there's so many different types of videos to create, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in the video world, it's really hard to know what video is best for me or what videos. So what we do is we break it down into an awareness stage, consideration, and decision. So at each part of the journey, we really walk you along and say, all right, are you looking at the awareness stage where you're trying to hit a broad, large audience? Or are we looking at a consideration stage where people may know about you, but they still need to know a little bit more, or you're comparing and contrasting against a competitor? Or are they at the decision stage where they already know about you, they know about your company, they know about your product or service. Now they just need that extra little push to get over that hump to really make a conversion or to buy something. Mm-hmm. That's really where we start at Viral Ideas. And from there, what we've done is we've created, 700 and some videos in the past year or so. So we really have a portfolio of what works best at the awareness stage, what works best at the consideration stage, and what works best at the decision stage. And we give you a framework for not only just that month, but across the year of really what can work along that buyer's journey.
Because there are so many different elements to a marketing campaign, the video is just one component of an overall marketing campaign, I suspect. Do you help your clients or have relationships with providers to, help them do email marketing or help them do Facebook marketing? Is that outside of the scope, or is that something you guys provide?
We do some of that. So we mainly stick on the Facebook digital side, but we do have partners. People want to get them in emails or get them out there on TV. Even we have partners that will implement those phases of the campaign.
Right. Okay. So I'm wondering, how much time does it take for just your average client that comes along? I've got a bricks and mortar shop, let's say, and it's a fish and chip shop, and I want you to promote my business. What sort of duration would be looking at to produce something?
That's a great question. It's something that Dave and I have been, I think, grappling with for the past few years, because like Dave said in the beginning of the presentation, we're sitting here thinking, how can we simplify this process? Because to be honest, it really sucks coming on as a client for most people and figuring out, what do I do with this video? How long is it going to create? So we're simplifying that. And we're looking at about anywhere from 2 weeks to 30 days to get, full customized video where we're shooting on location, really getting across your why of your business. So I would say anywhere from 2 weeks to 30 days.
Yeah, and it would be easy, without too much of a stretch, because clearly you would have travel time and all that sort of stuff. How does
actually we're going to Australia?
Absolutely, come on down. You've certainly got an audience. You've certainly got an audience and a customer base down here waiting. I'm sure of that. Where do you actually?
I don't think stereotypicals, but we could make something with the kangaroos or something.
Yes, and koalas and all the rest of it. Yeah, fighting koalas and emus that peck you between the eyes, all that sort of stuff, and prawns on the barbie. No, it's not as lame as all that, believe it or not. So look, where do you guys actually service? Do you go America wide? How does that work?
So we've actually had a client in Australia. We didn't do too much shooting. It was more animation, that type of bit. But we're mainly in the Philadelphia Northeast market in the United States. We will travel anywhere. People love our work, and we've had people that will send us to mostly in the States, but we're always willing to hop on a plane and go anywhere. We love to travel.
It's funny. It's funny because not that long ago, I was having a conversation with somebody else in the video field, and we were talking about the transition is underway. It's no longer a matter of should I do video, is it? It's a matter of who do I go to get it done.
It's really everything is converting to video, right? So if you're looking at your site, something really good that I know Dave and I do is, how can we take this site and make it into video? So whether it's blog posts, we're seeing a huge trend with that. Everybody taking their already existing content that they spent so much time and money writing for SEO purposes, which is great. But now it's great to now put that in the video form. Extend that life. But even other things, such as like your about page, you'll see even on our site, if you scroll down, we do a little story about us. And different other places on your site, you can just transform into video. So what I do is anywhere I look, I say, how can I convert that into a video?
Does video mean inherently, I mean, if you look at the My Future Business site, I use a YouTube-based video to serve the video on my About page, but it's got absolutely no facial shot. It's just more like a presentation. Is that valid nowadays, or should I be moving away from those sorts of things and actually putting my ugly mug in front of a camera?
We're looking at your picture now. I think you look great.
Thank you. I'm blushing.
So in just my opinion, people connect with people. So having the ability, obviously some people when they're listening to a podcast, they are actually listening to it in the car, or on their way to work or maybe at the gym. So maybe they aren't actually watching the podcast.
Yeah.
But giving them the option to connect with, all of our beautiful faces, across the video platform really gives that additional emotional appeal. And with videos, emotions is kind of where it's all about. And having that extra layer of not just sound but sight, it makes a huge difference on a YouTube video.
Now, I don't want to disregard any other method of communication though, because let's say you are like great at writing or great at doing other things, those work just as well. And even like something like an animated video. So some people we've dealt with in the past that may be a bit nervous to get on camera, and that's okay. I know when Dave and I first got on camera, when our guys came in, we were even kind of taken back.
Yeah.
So it's okay to really start out, whether you start with some light animation or some text-based videos, turning your blogs, like I said, into video, and just slowly coming into it. And eventually you really will get on it. It's kind of like riding a bike. But definitely the first time you get that camera in your face, it can be a bit intimidating.
Absolutely. I'd love to ask, how do you, when you've got a new person in front of you, they're very keen to do this, they're terrified. What do you say to somebody like that? Do you have a thing that you say and take them through? Our view is we just try to lighten the mood a little bit. So we'll crack some jokes.
You should ask him what he does during the set.
I can just imagine.
He's the one that we bring along to really lighten up the mood.
Yeah.
I've had clients take shots. I've had, it's really just about, if you can get comfortable, everyone can have a conversation, right?
Yeah.
It's really about getting that person on the other side of the camera comfortable. And if you're doing it for yourself, it's about getting yourself in a comfortable space.
Yeah.
So whether that means, playing with your dog for 5 minutes before you jump on the video, whatever it takes to ground yourself and just make yourself comfortable and just be more of yourself, that's what you need to do before you get in front of the camera.
And something a bit more, I don't want to say unique, but something how our approach is, where we take a very naturalistic approach, kind of like your podcast, like you said. It's not a scripted question, answer, interrogation format. And that's the way we really approach video is you're already going to be nervous coming on set, seeing all these lights in front of you, seeing cameras in front of you. The last thing I'm going to try to make you do is memorize a script. So what we do is we frame up the questions prior. Pre-production is, I would say, one of the most important stages of a video production process. And in that video prep meeting, we go over the questions. We kind of coach them through some of the answers, but we never tell them to memorize a script. The last thing I want to do is sit there and have you memorize a script and you're sweating because you're forgetting one word or forgetting the other and you don't know how you look and all this stuff. So like Dave said, we sit down, we have a very natural conversation. And that's really the best approach that we found that works best for us.
Thank you for that insight. Anybody who's listening to the My Future Business show today, this is powerful stuff, especially if you're looking to branch out and get into video. Now, I have a question that's often asked is, when we're serving our videos, we know that YouTube is a free video serving platform. Is there any danger of having your videos on there, given that you're playing on somebody else's football field and they have the ability to shut down accounts and all this sort of thing? And if that is an issue, do you recommend something like Amazon S3 to serve your own videos?
So it depends. I'll go through a couple of scenarios. 100%, it's valuable to have your video on YouTube for the pure, simple fact of search. So YouTube obviously owned by Google. When people are searching for various topics, maybe around your business or even locally for your business, if you're a local business, you'll pop up a little bit in the search if you're properly title tagged. So from a discovery perspective, YouTube is great, and it's the second largest search engine in the world.
Yep.
So not being on there is a disadvantage. And yeah, there's some control and some channels can shut down, but as long as you're not doing anything too crazy, they're not going to shut you down.
Yep.
And you just abide by their terms and conditions and everything. As far as serving the actual video on your site, YouTube is not necessarily the best way to do that because of the fact that ads run and different videos might autoplay on the back end. We found the strongest platforms to be Vimeo for that. The other one is
there's another site out there that really has great tracking capabilities. There's some other cool things that they're doing too. It's called Wistia, and really what they're doing is it's meant for businesses.
Yep.
So not only are you uploading your video to that site, it obviously costs money. It can be expensive if you have lots of videos, but it gives you really great tracking, really robust tracking engine behind there to know how is my video performing? How are the calls to actions working? Really getting into the ROI of your video. But also the benefit is you have a clean viewing experience. Sometimes with YouTube, they really prioritize the video getting up as quick as possible, and they really just want it to play, right? So if you're in a crowded, congested area where a lot of people are on their phone, you're not going to get as a beautiful viewing experience on YouTube. Whereas on Wistia and Vimeo, they really prioritize the quality of the video.
From what I recall, they even though you might record it in 1080p or 4K, they reduce it down to 720p delivery, don't they?
Yeah, and another big thing is like where you're uploading it, right? So if your connection may be a bit weaker, you're gonna see some issues with YouTube. Whereas with Vimeo, like I said, they really prioritize the viewing experience.
Guys, it's coming up to half an hour already. I am just having a ball on this interview today. It's not even an interview. It's just a really casual chat, and I appreciate spending some time with you. When people want to reach out to you guys, where are they going to find you?
So our website's viralideamarketing.com. We'd love to hear from any of your guests and help them out with the creative process. We're also available through email, info@viralideamarketing.com. We'd love to hear from you there too about your ideas, and maybe we can help you out and walk you through the creative process.
That's fantastic. So for anyone who is listening today, make sure you reach out to the guys at Viral Ideas. Again, thank you very much for being on the My Future Business Show today.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's been fun having you on the call with us today. Now click on that big red subscribe button and make sure you leave us a comment, share us with your friends, and join the growing list of leading entrepreneurs who have enjoyed their time on the show at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews.